Hey, Chef Walker, and this is day 4 of the 30-day challenge. Went out to go for a little walk in the woods, and I ran into a skunk. It's like right up there, a little bit freaky, so I thought I'd just stop right here. Instead of doing a walk and talk, I do a stand and talk. So this one is pretty wild. I'm going to take you back to like my first year in business, and it was a very, very humble beginning. And I put out a very basic website. It was about the stock market. That's what I was doing back then. I was publishing about the stock market. And I keep on looking over there, looking for that skunk. So in any case, on the website, I put up some charts about the stock market, some historic charts that were like about historic bull markets and bear markets. And it was like sort of how I was getting traffic into the site. And that was cool. And everything was going well. And I was getting like 3 or 4 subscribers a day, which, was cool because it adds up to like, 100 subscribers a month. And my newsletter list was growing slowly. And that was my #1 focus, was just growing that list. And then one morning I woke up and there was like 120 or 130 subscribers. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. What happened? And I started like scrolling through, looking at all the email addresses, and they were coming from all over the place. And so I'm like, how do these people find me? And this is all days before like analytics. I didn't have any analytics on the site. I couldn't track anything. It was a free website, so there's no tracking. So I'm like, huh. So I sent an email out. I picked out like 10 or 15 of those people, and I just sent them an email. I'm like, how did you find me? How did you find my website? And they said, we saw your site on the PBS Frontline TV show. And I'm like, what? This is crazy because, PBS is a public TV, and Frontline's like this major league TV show, like a news show, and I'm like, what? I'm still publishing from a free site. I didn't have a domain name, couldn't afford a domain name. I'm down in the basement. I'm working on a homemade desk, which is a piece of plywood stuck over a couple sawhorses. And I'm publishing still via like blind carbon copy. There's nothing going on. I mean, it's not like a real business or anything. And PBS is featured. So I tried to track it down. And it turns out the TV show didn't feature me, but they said, it was a story about the stock market. And then they sent people to their site, and then their site linked directly to my charts. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I have to start thinking bigger. Maybe this isn't just this tiny little thing where I'm going to try to scrape out a few dollars or scrape something together. This could be like end up being a real business. If like a real TV show is like pointing towards my site, this could be real. I got to start thinking bigger. And the thing is we're all there, and we're all there all the time. We all have to continue to keep on thinking bigger. And ever since then, it's just been my business, we're 20 years in. It's been an exercise of me continually figuring out how to think bigger. Always looking for role models to help me think bigger. Always looking for other businesses that I can model to help me think bigger. Always just trying to step outside my business and look from the outside and say, where could this go? How could I grow? Where could it grow? How can I further serve? And it's been an absolutely amazing. I mean, it started off, my big dream was, my first goal was just to try to figure out some way to make an extra $10,000 per year to try to support the family. And at that time I sat down and I wrote down, when I first started out, I sat down and I wrote down the biggest goals I could imagine. And my biggest, farthest reaching goal was $100,000 a year, which was like, to me, I didn't know anyone that made that amount of money. And that seemed like the ultimate, nice round number, the ultimate goal, the ultimate you could possibly make, in your life was 100,000. And, I hit that within just a few years. And then I started doing these launches that did 100,000, and then launches that were doing millions, and then $1 million in a day, and then a New York Times bestseller. And it kept on going on and on. But it was because I kept on creating this bigger vision for myself and a bigger vision for myself, for my business. And now it's like, that's my job, is to have a bigger vision for my clients, to always have that bigger vision for how big our impact can grow and how big our businesses can grow and how big we can grow in ourselves and in our leadership and in our service. So that's my lesson for you today, is never, like my friend Brendan Richard says, never let your small business make you small-minded. And I don't want you to be small-minded. I want you to think you can grow, and it's baby steps. I didn't get to where I am with millions, multi-million-dollar business overnight. I got here just by incrementally thinking, what's the next step? How can I think bigger and bigger and bigger? So I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that like button, scroll down, leave a comment. Wherever you're at, if you're at my blog at jeffwalker.com, if you're watching my channel at YouTube, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get them this week.